Bonjour tout le monde, welcome back to Montreal Rides. Today's a bit different. Instead of being out on the road, we're going to install a Cardo Spirit communication system on a full face helmet. This one is an ILM 129. It's a new one that I bought for passengers. I already have a Cardo Spirit HD. The difference between the HD and the non-HD is just the sound quality. Something to note, the Cardo Spirit communication system, the way it's set up is to connect with only one other person, either someone with a Spirit or someone with a Spirit HD, and vice versa. If you want to communicate with more than just one other person, you would need the Cardo Pack Talk, which I think is up to 6 people. So think of it as a pack of wolves. So Pack Talk can talk to multiple people, whereas Spirit is one-on-one. So whether you're installing the Spirit or the Spirit HD, it's the same thing. So let's start by opening this box. We have the unit, which will probably end up on the side over here. And we have the rest of the loose stuff. Let's put this stuff away. And what we will need is the getting started guide, because the rest is just the safety and compliance. It's a pretty easy setup for now. There's more to it than just looking at it. We have speakers with a bit of Velcro on it. So these speakers will go on each side of the helmet and the ear pockets that are already part of the padding design on the ILM helmet. The wiring will be inside the head or inside the padding, and this 3.5 millimeter jack, well, we'll connect to something else later on. We have, here, it will connect into this. Okay, which is all part of this little wiring. The other wire that's connected to this piece, oops, let me just get it back. Here it is. Will be connected to the microphone. This one's slightly different than the one that I have. There's different kinds of microphones actually. So this is useful if you have a modular helmet or a half face helmet, so that the Velcro would attach somewhere along the padding, and then the microphone would be in front of it. But they provide other microphones with it. I like this one. This one is simple. There's going to be, let me just take everything out. There we go. Some alcohol pads, some Velcro pads that go inside the ears to be able to Velcro the speakers on it, or different size Velcro pads. Has quite a variety. This is the interesting one. So instead of using the lavalier gooseneck microphone, I'll be using this simple one that's great for full face helmets. Just want to untangle it. There you go. So one end of the microphone will go into the Pack Talk wiring. We'll look at that later. This microphone here, this pad will go inside the helmet, right in front of your mouth, and this pad will simply stuck to it so that the microphone will be facing the other way, right in front of your mouth, with the wire going into the Pack Talk that's on the side. And this little pad is to be able to place the Pack Talk snap it on and off with the various components together. It looks complicated, but in the end, it ends up being simple. So, let's open the helmet, which actually, let's remove the visor to have access to the inside of our helmets. And one of the things we'll notice, let me move my 360 camera to put it in, is that we will be putting the mouthpiece microphone over here, and if we look left and right inside the helmet, that's where the speakers will go. But we have to remove the padding inside the helmet. Now, if you've never done this before, I was worried at first, but in the case of mine, there's a snap and a bunch of Velcro holding the padding together. And these straps slide inside through like a little hole inside the padding. So we just pull it out one at a time. There you go. And the other side. There you go. And the padding comes loose. There should be more Velcro. Look inside the helmet. Should also be able to remove the top somehow. I only did this once, so when you try to do it again, it can be confusing, and I may have to have some effort or to hold pieces apart. Now, I don't know if we can see it, but over here, see, I just removed this thing. It filled the hole. Inside that hole will be a Velcro pad, and inside that Velcro pad will be one of the speakers. So those are the already placed holes that we need for the speakers for the ears. The wiring, I'll have to go around and inside the padding, inside the lining, and play around with it a lot. Let me just remove the second ear filler for now. Don't know why I'm having trouble removing the padding this time. I was able to remove it entirely on the other helmet. Maybe they changed their designs a bit. I don't know. So, what I am missing from this box, which I thought I had, are the exact instructions on how to connect everything. But we'll figure it out. I'll go for memory. We'll do this after. So let's start by putting in the appropriate headpiece. So we want the wire to be coming out, the short part, on the right side. So I want this speaker on this side and this speaker on that side. Okay. One of these Velcro pads has a 3M adhesive. The other one does not. And that's because if you feel that how you put this goes against your ear pad and this goes on top of it, but if it's too far away, you can add some extra padding and bring it closer to your ear. See how thicker it is versus like this. So I'm going to use just a simple one pad. I don't know how I like to have it right next to my ear. The sound quality on the HD is pretty good, and I'm assuming it's not bad for sound quality on the non-HD Cardo Spirit. Basically, you want to use it just to be able to talk and take phone calls. listening to music, you shouldn't be blasting your music. Quality sounds good, right? But if you paid a bit less, you're still going to hear your music fine, and you will still want to be paying attention to the road. So you don't need to be blasting with super expensive speakers. Some of the more expensive Cardo units out there have like JBL speakers, which you're paying for the brand name of speakers to go inside your helmet. Is it really worth a couple $100, a couple extra $100 or $200 on the price of a comm system just to have slightly better audio? It depends on how much you love audio. So I will put the 360 in there so we can see what's going on. Hopefully. Let's put it like this, and I'll have fun with the camera angles. I'll put one pad inside the hole here. There you go. I'll put the other pad, if I can get this sticker plastic thing off, here you go. At about the same height, which was almost at the edge there. Doesn't need to be perfect because it's Velcro and it's larger than the surface. There you go. Let me put this one down. This is a very convoluted way of trying to film multiple angles inside a helmet. I'm gonna have to lift it. So 360 goes out, and the wiring is the fun part. I'm thinking. The wire needs to go down, needs to go inside the cheek and then out from the cheek somewhere. Okay, so we're gonna put the speaker on this side because it has the shorter end, and we're gonna make sure that the wire goes, let's bring it under the strap and out from the bottom. So that's the short wire. Now this other speaker, before I stick it to the other Velcro, I need to wiggle it all the way around. In this case, we're gonna go behind. So I'm basically feeling it by making sure that I'm between the styrofoam protective layer and the padding, and making sure I have enough wiring to bring it all the way around. There you go. Pull the wire tight. And now I can stick the second, oops. There you go. So if we put the 360 in there, we can see that on one side, there we go. We can see that on one side, and on the other, I have both speakers, and the wire goes along the back between the padding and the protective layer. Okay. So now I have the wire coming out here for the speakers. Second part is the microphone. In this case, we'll temporarily snap back. Actually, we don't need as much access to the side panels here. Let me just put back the straps inside through the slits. That's one. Oops. That's two. I'm sure all of it is out. Yes. Very good. So we want to put this pad against this, and that's pretty easy. Will this hold? Kind of, yeah, okay. I'll remove the layer to expose the adhesive and find a good placement for it. Now, that's your curtain. You don't want it to be like directly in front of your mouth because you don't want to breathe into it. You don't want it to be too close to your nose. So I usually put it close to the bottom, pretty centered. It's difficult to see, but it's right there. And the microphone with the wiring on the same side is a Velcro, so just plop it in the center. There you go. The foam on it is a pretty good windscreen. People have told me that they hear me very nicely when talking on the phone. Now, it's possible that there's too much wiring, but we'll see how much we need once we've installed the sides here. But these two wires will be plugged into the Cardo itself. Okay. Well, let me remember how this works. So I do know that the Cardo and the unit, you basically have to line up these connectors with these connectors. And there you go. And these two wires will be connected to these two wires, which will tuck in once they're connected. The other slightly complicated part is how to connect one with the other. And I think this is where I needed to remove this snap thing, which is useful when it's attached to a strap, which when you have a modular helmet or three-quarter helmet or just a top helmet, then you can attach this to the strap. But otherwise, you don't want it like that if it's going to be stuck inside. So I'm looking for a way to remove it to be able to use this instead. So bear with me.
Many minutes later.
So after doing some research, I figured it out. You know, you only do it once, so it's easy to forget how to do it again. Basically, this is the cradle, this is the clamp, this is the audio unit, the pack dock itself, the comm system. So the cradle, make sure that you've removed the unit from it. And you see these two, I hope the light is clear, but you see these two snaps? They're holding in place the clamp itself. So with a flat head screwdriver, just press down on one, press down on the other, and you hear that snap, which allowed me to remove it. So I will now be able to see how they have the same snapping things here. I will be able to install it on this new one. Now you see the shape, there's slits over here, and this is flat with where you insert the slips. So line them up and slide them in. It can be tricky to line up, but that's because it's going to stay in place and never move again. I want to make sure I do it on the correct side, so it's not going to be that way, that's for sure. It's going to be this way. And once it's in, yeah. There you go. And now it's in. Just to look at it. Cardo facing up, Cardo facing up. Perfect. Just a quick overview. Volume up, volume down, answer phone calls. Or I've also used it to access my Google Assistant or whatever AI or vocal assistant you have on your phone. So if music is playing but you need to like ask your Cardo unit to use your phone to call, I don't know, your mom, you can press this and say call mom, but you have to set it up first. And I always forget what the front one does. I'm sure it's useful, I just don't know what it does because I never use it. And to unclip it, there's a little switch here. By pulling the switch, this one's new, so it's difficult and it's hard, but as you use it more and more, the looser it gets. And it's also not attached to any surface. Let me, shouldn't be this hard. There you go. When it's mounted to a surface, it's easier because it's actually holding on to something. But to charge it, it does come with a USB cable. But basically, there's a little slot here, and you plug it in. And it'll blink red until it's fully charged, and then blink blue for a bit to tell you it's fully charged, and then just stop blinking after a while. Battery life is pretty damn good on this thing. If I'm out for a few hours, I probably only used about 25% of the battery, so it's a long battery life. Any cable will do, so that's why it's removable, because you only recharge this unit. This just connects it with the rest of the wiring itself. This is the only thing that actually holds power. So back to this part. We got the adhesive thing here. And we got some alcohol pads. And I want it to be about over here. Sounds about right. Yeah. So, where did I put it? I put it over here. So we're gonna stick it, and you have to wait like 24 hours before putting weight into it. So I will, after I've stuck it, snap this on, finish the wiring, but I won't try it right away. I don't want it to be exposed to the elements outside, humidity or anything like that, until I know it's solidified. Oh, alcohol swab, just to make sure that the surface is clean. I'm overdoing it. You want it to dry, so just a simple cloth to dry it. I want to make sure there's no alcohol left, because that's just going to cancel out the adhesiveness. Alcohol is really just to clean it and remove any oils or anything that would prevent the adhesiveness. Although we see that it's nice and dry. Don't put your fingers on it. Our fingers are greasy. Where's the piece? Here's the piece. Remove the layer to expose the adhesive. Figure out where you want it to go. I want it to go like this. Press and hold.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Now, we have the microphone wire to the microphone wire, male and female, birds and bees. These will basically never be disconnected. And you got the speaker 3.5 millimeter jack with the male and female. Plug it in. And after that, you go inside and you tighten the wires. So let me bring them up as tight as I can on the outside, so that all I have is this, right? I don't want to be breaking the wires themselves, but it's pretty sturdy and it never moves. So, but you want it to be out of the way so that you don't snag on it, right? Looks about good. Looks right. The comm unit's installed over here. All right. And then on the inside, you tighten the wires inside the cheek pad. Just snug it in there. Now, one of the annoying ones is this one because there's a thickness to it. So if you can find a out of the way snug hole somewhere. And the same thing for the speaker wires. Basically, that's why it's a pad, so you don't feel much. Now, I may need to do some readjustments at a later date, but it's a trial and error. It all depends on the helmet that you have. I'm trying to get the wirings out of my mouth's way so I don't feel them. That's the hardest part, I guess, is making sure the wires are out of the way. And this can be snugged in higher. I don't wear glasses, so I don't need the glass part. I want access to my Velcros and to the snap to snap back my cheek pad. There you go. Feels out of the way. We don't need the second one. I want to make sure that all the pads are in the right place. All the linings are back into position. All the wires are loose. So if I put the Insta360 back in there, and hopefully I can see what's going on in there, we do not see any wirings. We do not see any wirings except the microphone here, and we don't see the speakers, but they're behind these two covers right here. That's not so bad. What is it? 15 minutes, 20 minutes, including a little bit of research on how to remove the cradle from the clip. Where did I put it? Yeah, to remove the clip from the cradle. That was a little toughest part because you never do it again. But I'll reinstall the the Cardo unit on it. I'll need to work on some of this wiring again. Maybe put a bit of tape somewhere to make it fit nicely. And of course, once everything's installed and back to normal, you reinstall your visor. And that's it. That's how you install the Cardo Spirit comm system inside a full face helmet. The same instructions, the same steps go with the Spirit HD. So, if you like this video, please leave me a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. Join me for live conversations on Discord. Join us for discussions, longer discussions on the Writers Forum. You can follow me on Blue Sky. What else? You can game with me on Steam, and you can help support this channel by visiting Buy Me a Coffee. All the links are in the description. Je vous souhaite une bonne journée. Stay safe on the roads, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!